What do you want to do when you want to find a wire and a bunch of other wires? You need a cable tracker. I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome back with his show. We're going to be looking at this. That's right, for the sumly price of £8.66 I've purchased myself a cable tracker off eBay, and it says you can judge the continuity of cables or wires, track the cable or wires and diagnose breakpoint, receive the tone signal on the cables or wires, identify the state of the working telephone line, send a single solid tone or dual alternating tone to the object cables or wires. So I think we can agree that explains absolutely nothing, but I will try to explain something. Every now and then when you're trying to do some maybe automotive electronics, well, electrics rather than electronics, or networking in your house or whatever, you have a bunch of wires that go from someplace to someplace else, and it can be difficult sometimes to find the ends of the wires or detect if there's a break in the wire, for example, where that break is. So you could have a wire like this and the signal could be getting as far as a certain point and then nothing because you've snapped something in there. And I've seen that on RJ45 Ethernet cables, and this is a tool that's supposed to help you with that. So we're going to see if it can help us with that. I suspect we're going to need some batteries first, but let's have a look. It does come though in quite a nice case for something that's under a tenner delivered. I ask you, what more would you actually want? It's got a nice cute little case. It has a little book and everything. Totally unbranded. It's its own thing. That's a deep set screw there. Ah, this is so annoying now. Okay, got a battery in that one, and I finally got the lid off this one. It's my fault really, I just needed the right size screwdriver. Oh, there's a switch in here. What the heck is that for? There's actually a switch in here. Yeah. Might leave that for a sec. Let's just have a quick look, see what this does, if it mentions it at all. Sender. Okay, well nothing obvious is jumping out about that switch, so let's just leave it be, shall we, for now? It's a weird one though. All seems to kind of work. So we can test this now anyway, because we can turn this on. This is the radio receiver effectively. Okay, I guess it's on, but I can't hear anything. If I push the button that says test, you can hear it picking up the noise of my LED. So I'm going to turn this thing on. Ooh. It's actually a headphone socket on the end too. Oh, this is the tone. Okay, interesting. I think the current tone is probably less annoying. Leave it on that. You could probably modify the case to get to that switch. I wonder why they didn't put a control to get to it. You can see here, that's just like that. You could probably drill a little hole. In fact, let's do that, shall we? While I can measure that out, let's just see. We've got, it's about there. Take this on the floor actually. What a lovely owl. We'll just put that back on. Yes, look at that. Switchable. Such a bod. Okay, right. So, tone. I don't know why it says cont here, but that doesn't even do anything. I think the switch is just a bit crappy. Anyway. So you can hear it's louder basically when I do it on the actual correct probe. So let's grab a bit of wires. So let's pretend that is your mess of harnesses. So the idea is being, let's say we were trying to trace a wire among all of this lot. And we're going to hook it onto this long black wire. Ow! Sugar! That's unbelievably sharp. Be careful of that. That's the sharpest crocodile clip I've ever experienced. Right, now you've got a mess of wires. We're trying to, imagine we're trying to find that black wire. So we're going to go through them. Oh, can definitely hear one's a bit louder. But then how would you determine it over, say, these two? Let's find two of like similar lengths. So these two black wires are of similar length. I'm going to splay them and let's see if we can hear the difference between the two. Don't know if you can hear that. That's why there's headphones. It's a very subtle difference, but there you can hear it. Yep, and that's how you do it. Basically, you track that. Now there is also a grounding wire, which I suspect, depending on what you've got, if you've got a nice big cable there, you could put that on the ground shield of a coax or your Ethernet, for example, or another common pin. It'd probably amplify this and make the effect louder. Now what I'm going to do is another test as well. Let's strip the end of the wire like that and attach that straight to the metalwork there, so it's totally conductive on there, and see if it makes any difference to the sound we hear. Significantly, so that would really help. I definitely suggest do that if you can get to the end of it. Wow, that's useful. And then looking at this kit as well, you can see it has this, is it an RJ45 or an RJ11? Hang on, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's an RJ11, so that'd be more of a telephone adapter. But you could make your own adapters really, or go and buy an expensive fluke unit. I think that what would be useful to do though, while we're here together, let's just pop the lid on this and just let's check out that switch, because it does seem to be a little bit disappointing that it's not doing what we want. This is odd actually, isn't it? Why we have a test switch with this on off. Maybe we'll have a quick look at that too. Because as it stands, £9, it's kind of done, isn't it? It works. It's good enough. But it is, at the end of the day, also £9 we spent, and we want it to maximise the goodness and get the utility out of this device. So we're going to have a quick look in here. See what we can find. Oh my gosh. Oh my giddy aunt. It does actually have gubbins. And I'm going to turn it around. Let's put the bits in here. It's even got the metal insert for that. That's quite nice. Right. So looking at this chip here, it's HEF 4069 UBT, whatever that is. And that's our black and red probes. And you can see this switch. It's definitely does switch both ways really, so I don't know why we're not seeing anything on the other position. That is a bit odd. I mean, let's see if we were probing that with our tweezers and we touch that, you can see that's on. I can see them flicker a little bit when I touched that, but it does that also when I switch it as well. Interesting. Just do one quick test. I'll turn this on next to it. Maybe it's just duff. Who knows? All the other components look like they're in place. I'm not seeing any obvious signs of damage on that PCB. I will switch this other switch on the back though. Let's see, does that affect it at all? I mean, I know that makes the steady tone. So I might have a look through the manual. Maybe there's something with that mode. We'll put that aside. Let's see what's inside the receiver. Ooh, nice work. So there's your headphone socket, and it looks like your headphones will disconnect the speaker, which is good. You want that. And we'll take out this PCB. And there's your antenna. You can see it's down the end of that probe. If you wanted to, potentially if you used a piece of like micro coax, you could keep it that length but transpose it so it's right on the tip. You can see when that is inserted, it's something like that, whereas it's only going that far, whereas you might get more joy on the end. We might test that briefly. It may not make a difference. We'll try it. And there is the receiver. Let's try to read that chip there. And just, it's a UTC, it's an LM386G, LM386G, whatever that is, at home. And I'm just looking at this switch that comes in. So you can see the power's coming through. It's very odd that this has an on-off in it. I don't... So now it's mega sensitive. So we should try that with our wire test again. Just grabbing our bit of ATX power supply. And we're going to hook this onto our... Oh, it's a different one. Okay. There's a different bit of ATX power supply, but we have multiple black wires on this one, so that's a bit more of a challenge. So we're going to turn on our probe. Okay. So far, it's not helping us. All of these black wires seem... So I don't know, maybe we need to adjust that sensitivity. Perhaps it's a good thing to leave that as it is, because we'd have to find somebody who's knowledgeable in radio signals to tell us how the waves are propagating into that. Yeah, I don't really know. Anyway, that's apparent. It's apparent I don't know. I don't know many things. Yeah, that's interesting enough. You have this resistor and capacitor footprint still available here. I don't know if that could shape the tone a little bit of this device. But yeah, I don't know, £9. I suppose you can't really go wrong at that. Okay, so that's telling me that's a continuity tester on that mode. So if we put it in cont and then we touch these together, look. You can see, well, maybe you can't see, it's not great, but you can see that flickering green, the definite greenness on there. That's the continuity tester. I'm wondering, does that do anything tone-wise? Probably not, but no, it's a completely different circuit. But yeah, that's a continuity tester. So with some different probes there, that could be useful. It's interesting though, isn't it? I kind of think I might modify this. I might put a little piezo buzzer. In fact, I've got one. I've got one right here. Sorry about that. It took me a couple of minutes to get this going, but I can show you what I've done. So it's working as you'd expect. Now, you can see I've got this 3D construction, a whole mess going on, and I'll let you know what I've done. I've got here a PNP transistor. I've got the base connected via this random resistor I found. I've got no idea what the value is, but if you're interested in playing along at home, it's yellow, purple, red. The reason it's not hooked up, the buzzer isn't hooked directly, is because this works by causing a differential to flow over here. So in normal circumstances, there isn't enough voltage differential here. I think this is sitting at 9 volts here, and this is sitting at 7.6 or something. And then when the circuit's made and the LED comes on, However it's achieving that, it's dropping this down to 7.1 or 7 volts or something like that, and then it's causing that voltage. So obviously we couldn't connect the buzzer to that. It just was not working any which way we want, because the buzzer obviously is maybe even a 12 volts device, who knows. So what we did is we have the buzzer connected to the emitter here to ground, and then we have the collector on the other side of this LED. So that does instantly mean, of course, now we have an audible tone for continuity, and I think actually that's quite good. Might affect your battery. Let's hope it doesn't affect anything else. No, it doesn't seem to affect anything else. Let's see if it's still kind of working on this score. You can still hear our tone. Feel the tone. So that's good. So we've made a mod. We've made our 8 quid thing infinitely more useful. Now the tricky part, of course, of this challenge would be to see if you could fit it all back in the box. And I suspect it's not possible, but I'm willing to have at least a quick go. Of course, we would have to resolder it and sight that. I think you could sight it on the bottom. I'm just talking hypothetically here. In fact, look at it. That actually has to go in that way, so we're already kind of pretty scuppered on our mod. But I will just remove those 2 legs here real quick. The iron is on. Come on. Come on. There we go. And we'll remove our ground from our buzzer. We can attach that. You can attach that any old time. It's just whether or not you can physically fit the buzzer in the box. That's going to be the challenge. Might want to try different buzzing technology. Those are the old school type buzzers we had. Do you remember in science you'd have one of those big old fat buzzers? But yeah, I'm pretty confident we're not going to be able to fit that in there. You might be able to fit the electronics in there and maybe mount the buzzer somewhere on the outside. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But not tonight, because I've got other things to be getting on with. But yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe you'll be able to ping me before I make any mods, and then I'll make the correct ones.